on Zoom. So I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. And this is a public planning meeting. And are there any declaration of interest or general nature thereof? If there is an interest, please declare it. I see no declarations at this point. So we will move forward with the purpose of the meeting, which is D14-2022-014 McBride / Hanton 541 Slack Road. So we'll ask the planner to, I didn't do my thing. I apologize. I need to read my blurb. Personal information collected at this public hearing is collected under the authority of the Planning Act and will be used to assist in making a decision on the matter. All names, addresses, opinions, and comments are collected and form part of the minutes which are available to the public. Questions regarding this collection should be forwarded to the Director of Planning. The purpose of public meetings is to present a planning application in a public forum as required by the Planning Act. Following presentations by the applicant or staff, council members will have an opportunity to ask questions for clarification or further information. The meeting will be then open to the public for comments and questions. When you speak, please provide your name and address for recording in the minutes. All comments should be directed to myself, the chair of the meeting. The applicant will be provided an opportunity to address public questions once all members of the public have made their submissions. For the applications to be presented tonight, a report and recommendation are being presented to council. Is that correct? Just to double check. I wanted to, sometimes that differs. Following a council decision, notice will be circulated in accordance with the Planning Act. If a person or public body would have an ability to appeal the decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the township before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. So with that, I will hand it over to our Director of Planning, Marnie Venditti.
Thank you. Through you. This public meeting is for an application for zoning bylaw amendment for the property at 541 Slack Road. I'm just going to share my screen. I am on the meeting. There we go.
Is it not allowing you to share?
No. Something going on with my technology.
We apologize. There's a technological delay.
No, it's not showing me that screen. There we go. We're showing it differently. Okay, so
There we go.
On the screen in a second, this is a map of the property subject to the application on Slack Road. This zoning bylaw amendment application is coming forward based on an application for consent for the property for a lot addition. The schedule in front of you is the proposed zoning schedule. So the area in light blue is a portion of the overall property shown in gray. The purpose of the application for lot addition is to sever a portion of the property to add it to the property directly to the south. The property to the south where my cursor is zoned shoreline residential. The area of the property shown in blue is currently zoned rural. So the application is to rezone the portion of the property to be added to the property to the south from rural to shoreline residential so that the resulting property is all in one zone. Notice for this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Planning Act by mail out to all landowners within 120 meters of the boundary of the property. So that would be the larger property in gray, as well as posting signage in the area. There's been no inquiries in response to the notice of the public meeting, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for our planner? Go ahead, Councillor, maybe.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. So the additional property being added to this shoreline is for future building or just to increase the lot size itself?
Primarily to increase the lot size to accommodate future building, if anything is proposed. It would bring the property into greater compliance with the zoning bylaw because the existing property is undersized. So it provides more opportunities for the property in the future.
And potentially for a septic bed to go
That's
north
correct.
of it. Okay, thank you.
Any further comments, questions? Councillor Fody?
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Your Worship. Through you. What currently is the use of the land to be severed from?
It's vacant.
The larger piece. What's the current use of that land now?
It's vacant land right now.
Is it agricultural or forest or?
It's rural land. It's just vacant rural land.
It could be used for
Could be
agriculture.
As in cropland or brush or forest or?
Yeah.
Sure.
So wait, I'll have you come to the podium, please, because the people who are online can't hear you without the microphone.
Just to show you, I've got the air photo on the screen as well. So it's treed lands.
Yes, I'm sorry, Richard Bruce Hanton. I'm the representing Mr. McBride, but I'm also the other side of the card. I'm purchasing the property from Mr. McBride. All that area in behind is wooded. It undulates. There's some rock outcroppings, and there's actually some really wet stuff as you go farther north.
Okay.
So I would call it, pretty rough stuff, but there are some large trees in there. The previous owner of that property actually took some lumber out about 25, 30 years ago. But it's hemlock, a mix, and I'd say pretty wet.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments or questions while
Here.
he's here? I don't have any from the council table. I'll ask the clerk to check the attendees to see if anybody has their hand up. So if anybody is on the meeting in regards to this particular application and you have a question, please put your hand up. And I don't see any hands up at this point, so you're free to go from the podium. Thank you. Okay, so seeing no other items, 3.2, that public meeting was canceled for this particular application. So we may see that later on down the road after they work through some further details. So with nothing else, I'll let Ms. Venditti speak.
Sorry, through you, if I may, just in case there is anybody on the line for that application, it was deferred to allow some other items to be worked out with respect to it. But if there is anybody on the line with comments or anything with respect to that application, notice will be mailed out once it's rescheduled. So you should receive a mailed out notice. And if there's any questions, please contact staff. I notice there's a hand up now.
Okay. I'll recognize Christine, so you can unmute yourself.
Hi, I was just wondering what the address of that deferred application was.
333 Clark Drive.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I was here for.
So it's being deferred, and as Ms. Venditti said, the notices will be remailed out for the public meeting that it will appear on. But if you have comments or questions, you should direct them to the director at any time if you have any concerns with what was presented already.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, any further comments or questions? I see no further hands. So motion to adjourn comes from Councillor Maybe and seconded by Councillor Fody that the public meeting adjourn. All those in favor? All those opposed? And we're carried. Thank you, everybody.